I'm Ann Simmons for the Los Angeles Times. In a long-anticipated decision, the US Supreme Court today cleared the way for same-sex marriages to resume in California by turning away the defenders of Proposition 8, the ballot measure that limited marriage to a man and a woman. The justices also struck down a key part of the Federal Defense of Marriage Act, saying that legally married same-sex couples are entitled to the same rights as all other married couples. Joining me to discuss the significance and implications of the court's decision is Times staff writer David Savage, who covers the Supreme Court. Welcome, David. David, first of all, just tell us a bit about the decision. In a synopsis, what did the justices decide today with regards to Proposition 8?
Well, in the Proposition 8 case, the court handed down really a strictly procedural ruling, but one with an enormous practical impact. It basically said that the sponsors of Proposition 8, they did not speak for the state of California. Therefore, they didn't have legal standing to defend the law in the Supreme Court. John Roberts, the Chief Justice, wrote the opinion. He really had very little to say about gay marriage as a substantive matter, but he said in this case, the two gay couples who sued and won in a federal court in San Francisco, the judge struck down Proposition 8, they won, and at that point, no one really, as long as the state of California didn't appeal, no one had standing to appeal. So what that ruling means is that we go back to where things stood about 2 years ago when the federal court, Von Walker in San Francisco, struck down Proposition 8 and said gay marriage is a matter of a constitutional right in California. So even though the courts didn't say much about gay marriage, it means gay marriage, again, will be legal in California very soon.
And do we know how soon, David, when gay couples might begin to start getting married?
I don't have a good answer to the question. I think a lot of people in California will be kicking it around today and for a few days. I think it'll be within a month. I don't know whether it'll be in 48 hours, but basically all the top officials in the state of California, Jerry Brown, Kamala Harris, the Attorney General, have said Proposition 8 is dead from our point of view and we're going to allow gay marriages to resume. So it'll happen very soon.
Talk to us a bit about some of the national ramifications. Does this impact at all laws in other states as regards to gay marriage?
The court was very clear in saying we're not issuing a national ruling today that says all states must recognize gay marriage. But in the other case decided today, the so-called Defense of Marriage Act, a 5-4 majority struck down this federal law that denied federal recognition or any recognition to legally married same-sex couples. Justice Kennedy wrote the opinion in that case, and he talked an awful lot about marriage being a matter of liberty and equality, that it's unjust to deny equal rights to legally married same-sex couples. And as I say, he said, well, we're not deciding anything other than this federal law, but I think his opinion will be read, not today, but down the road. It will lead to judges around the country saying same-sex marriage is a matter of a constitutional right and eventually a national right.
Well, with regards to the federal law, for example, if a same-sex couple got married in a state where same-sex marriage is legal and then moved to a state where it isn't, what would happen when they try to file for benefits?
Well, there's a lot of questions there that are not very clear today. It's very clear that, for example, if you're a same-sex couple married in Massachusetts, you stay in Massachusetts, you can now file a joint tax return. But there's something like 1,000 different federal laws at issue. And people tell me it's very unclear if that couple, say from Boston, moves to Florida to retire. What about their Social Security? Is there a And I think what's going to happen is the Obama administration is going to weigh in on this and try to resolve this problem by trying to say that they're going to treat legally married same-sex couples as all other married couples, and eventually they're going to say they're entitled to all the rights and benefits. Now, granted, if the couple moves to Louisiana and Louisiana says we don't recognize same-sex marriage, the state of Louisiana doesn't have to give that couple any benefits. But I think as far as the federal benefits, they will be treated as though they were married.
Were there any surprises, David, in terms of the way the justices ruled? Did they rule along ideological lines?
It was very much the line that we expected. It's Justice Kennedy and the 4 liberal members of the court to say yes to equal rights for gay couples. The 4 conservative justices, including Chief Justice Roberts, were very clear that they're not ready to recognize same-sex marriage. They're inclined to uphold traditional marriage and go no further. So I'd say if this is a 5-4 split, and for the foreseeable future, there's going to be 5 justices sort of inclined to go slowly but steadily in the direction of support for same-sex marriage.
And just to wrap up, David, what does this tell us about the trajectory of the court with regards to gay marriage and same-sex couples?
I think the trajectory is only in one direction, that the public opinion polls are constantly showing more and more Americans are coming to accept the idea of same-sex marriage. I heard a judge say about a year ago, something that struck with me, is that the gay rights movement has been very smart in choosing very conservative goals. That is, gays wanted to serve openly in the military. Who can be opposed to, serving the country in the military? And they wanted to marry, to take on the rights and responsibility of marriage, and that's sort of winning over the country. So I think the trajectory is slowly but steadily, I think gay marriage is going to continue to win all around the country.
Well, we'll certainly be keeping an eye on the implications of both of these rulings. Thank you very much for your insight, David. For more on David's stories and our other coverage on the Supreme Court's decisions, please visit latimes.com.